There are lots of ways that students can get involved in the work of the British Medical Association. I'm here with John Hallet, Chair of the BMA Scottish Medical Students Committee, who's going to tell us more about how you can get involved. Can you tell me more about the committee and the work that it does?
I'm a fourth-year medical student studying at the University of Edinburgh, and I first got involved in the BMA about 3 or 4 years ago when I went to my first medical students conference in Edinburgh. It was there that I realised the important work that the BMA can do for students and how important it is that students get involved and get represented properly. It was then when I worked my way up from being an MSc representative to finally being chair of the Scottish Medical Students Committee. The other members of the Scottish Medical Students Committee, apart from myself, are one Medical Students Committee representative from each of the 5 Scottish medical schools and an Inter-Schools Committee chair. The Medical Schools representative works both with the UK Medical Students Committee and the Scottish Medical Students Committee to bring forward any details or problems that their constituents have, then feedback, answers and results for them. The Inter-School Committee's chair organises events locally through the local Inter-Schools Committee, where they can feedback issues from the national committees to local members of the medical school and also find out what new problems there are, as well as organising events for them locally.
What work is the committee taking forward this year?
Well, this year is a very important year for medical students in Scotland, and one of our main priorities has to be student finance. You may have heard of the UK Medical Students Committee producing a need for change document about how medical student finances need reforming in the UK. This issue is just as important as Scotland, and soon a Scottish Finance Strategy Guide will be produced for all Scottish medical students. We also hope to feed into the Scottish Government Health Department's review of higher education funding to improve the standard of maintenance allowances that medical students in Scotland can get, and also improve the information available so that they're able to easily access what at the moment is quite difficult information to find out. We also plan to look into widening participation to address the problems with the UK clinical aptitude test and to make sure that Scotland, which has some of the worst social deprivation in the whole of Europe, has a medical workforce which matches the population. We also worked with the UK Foundation Programme Office and the Scottish Foundation Board to make sure that the applications to foundation programmes are fair and equitable, and that medical students in Scotland feel that they're allocated their posts based on their potential as well-rounded applicants. And we constantly meet with them, as well as attending their foundation board meetings 3 times a year to feedback any information and make comments. Previously, we've worked with them on the development of the academic foundation programme in Scotland, and I've helped put together the application process for that, which seems to have been thoroughly welcomed by UK medical students, particularly those that have been through the process. And we hope to work with the UK Foundation Programme Office, as well as the Scottish Foundation Board, to improve the application process in the future.
How can anyone interested in the work of the committee get involved?
This is a really good question, particularly at this time of year, as soon it will be the deadline for submission of motions to the Medical Students Conference, of which there's another podcast available. So your local MSc rep and ISE chair will be looking for both motions to submit to the conference, as well as representatives to go along and argue these motions and find out more about the BMA politics when the conference is held in Exeter in April. You can find out more about the conference by getting in touch with your local MSc rep and ISE chair. We also need medical students to feedback regularly with our MSc rep and ISE chair before SMSC meetings so that we know what issues are important to medical students. And if medical students are really interested in the work we do, we have a visitors scheme at the Scottish Medical Students Committee where 2 non-members of the committee who are BMA members can come along and find out about the work we do, and they can find out about this in our latest edition of the Scottish Medical Students Committee newsletter. Also, at the end of this year we'll be looking for new MSc reps and ISE chairs to get involved with the Scottish Medical Students Committee. It would be great if people who are enthusiastic and keen to get involved with UK medical student politics stand for these positions, as we're only as strong as the members that come forward to represent their constituents.
Thanks, John. For more information, you can visit our website at www.bma.org.uk/Scotland.